Well, great. First passed the CARES Act to be able to get relief out to families and to small businesses. But uniquely on the border, I helped pass USMCA. This is a great opportunity for cross-border commerce and more jobs in Arizona. And I've delivered on the ports of entry, the San Luis port of entry. I delivered to be able to get over $150 million to upgrade that. And as part of my bipartisanship, I've been working with Senator Sinema on issues on the border so that people can travel more than 75 miles. This is a bill we're both behind, and spend more money around Arizona in border communities and beyond. But when we're talking about the border, there's a lot at stake here. Border security is national security. I do support the president's border wall, the border wall system, and Border Patrol agents and ranchers are really seeing a difference. My opponent, unfortunately, when the vice president of the Border Patrol Council went to meet him at the Veterans Day parade last year and just reached his hand out to shake his hand. He wouldn't shake his hand, turned away and said, "You're one of them." When nobody was looking, this is what Mark Kelly did. He says he's border for security, but then he turns his back and won't shake the hand of a Border Patrol agent. And when he ran this political organization I mentioned earlier, $57 million raised endorsing candidates all over the country. He also endorsed David Garcia for governor, who said we shouldn't have any borders. We should have no border security, no border wall. I mean, that's what's at stake here. When he says one thing here, which he'll probably talk about border security, but being behind David Garcia and not shaking a Border Patrol agent's hand, I mean, that's another example of counterfeit Kelly saying one thing on camera or in 30-second ads, but doing something totally different when nobody's looking.
Mr. Kelly, 45 seconds first. Did you not shake the hand of a federal law enforcement officer?
That never happened. I will shake anybody's hand anytime. I'm the son of 2 police officers. My mother was one of the first female police officers in northern New Jersey. I don't know where Senator McSally gets this stuff from.
Senator McSally, you've expressed support for President Trump's border wall.
Yeah.
There was some concern about how it was funded, though. The president said Mexico would pay for it. That hasn't happened. Also, some money was diverted from the Defense Department. You've already expressed support for the military clearly and for how President Trump has handled it. How do you feel about how the money was being used to build the border wall?
Well, border security is national security, and we should not have to choose between supporting our military and securing our border. So I'm for both, and I've been voting for increased funding for both of those. But we need to go back to, did you hear what he just said? He's against a 17th century solution. So that means he's against the border wall, which ranchers like John Ladd, 5th-generation ranchers, are seeing right now what the border wall system is doing to stop the illegal activity across the ranch. But, Mr. Kelly tries to pretend that he's just an aw shucks, independent, not political guy. But over the last decade, he has led one of the most sophisticated, radical political organizations. And while he's saying one thing here in Phoenix, he was literally flying all over the country to bankroll and to endorse extreme liberal candidates who are so left-wing and dangerous on these policies, like members of the Squad, Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib. These people are leading the effort to abolish ICE, to stop border security. And if you remember, all of the Democrats running for president raised their hand, free health care for everybody here illegally, decriminalizing border crossing. This is what's at stake in this election. If the Senate majority flips, which will go through Arizona, they will ram through this agenda, which is so extreme. But Mr. Kelly has been funding and been bankrolling and endorsing these extreme candidates who are behind these ideas over the last decade. Make no mistake, he is a political operative. It was a very sophisticated operation,
okay, Senator,
and that impacts our border security.
Time is up. Would you like to respond, please?
Well, border security is critical to our state, and what we need is technology in the appropriate places. In some places, a barrier and fencing completely makes sense. More Border Patrol agents on the border. That's, smart way to do this. I think we also need more judges to handle asylum seekers. And we've got to address this issue of DACA recipients and give them some certainty in their lives. Senator McSally used to support Dreamers, and then she said DACA is unconstitutional. There was a bipartisan agreement on a pathway to a normal status for Dreamers. Senator McSally used to support it, and then when it wasn't politically convenient anymore, she, decided not to. That's not the independent leadership that Arizona needs.
Senator McSally, we're going to want to get your take on DACA, but to follow up on this, there have been many people on both sides who've said, yes, border security, vitally important, but they talk more about technology as opposed to the wall. The old joke was build a 10-foot wall, someone will find an 11-foot ladder. Is there more to be done with border security than just President Trump's wall?
Well, it's a border wall system, and when you talk to the ranchers, it really makes a difference whether there's chicken wire or whether they have 30-foot and 6-foot down, a paved road, the sonar sensors. It allows Border Patrol to use intelligence-driven operations to detect and intercept the activity. Also using airborne assets and manned and unmanned, with towers and airborne assets and other things. So it's all of the above. But the border wall system is making a difference. And Mr. Kelly still hasn't answered the question as to, well, he can say he's for border security, but you support politicians like Omar and Tlaib. You said you support Bernie Sanders. You support David Garcia. If David Garcia were our governor right now, we would have a governor who's against any sort of border on the south side of Arizona. What is up with that? Do you want to denounce those endorsements?
Hey, border security is incredibly important for our state. And, I've already addressed this. I would not provide a 17th century solution to this. If you were to ask NASA to do this, it would be technology. It would be some of the things that Senator McSally just mentioned. But to build a wall for 2,000 miles of border, $20 million a mile, those resources could be used for the technology. It could be used for more Border Patrol agents on the border. There's smart ways to address this. And you asked about funding for military bases. Senator McSally voted to take away money from Fort Huachuca to pay for the border wall. An Arizona senator shouldn't be taking away money from Arizona bases.